Going with the Universal hiker story. We're still on the trail updates. August 10th, 2014. Writing from Sisters, Oregon, where I'm staying at Handbrake's house for a few days of rest. We will go into Bend today to the REI, bank, barbershop, etc. It is about 15 miles from his place. Tomorrow is his daughter's 4th birthday, and we expect about 20 kids and parents for a big party. Yard sale hitched in a couple of days ago and is with us also. He may go north for some time, but then head home to finish up De Anza College and then probably come back to Oregon to live and work. There are 650 miles or so to go, and the end feels in reach. I feel fortunate to be hiking with Handbrake. His pace still stretches me, although his plan for the rest of the trip is to do around 20 miles a day with 5 0 days or days off. This would have us finish about September 20th. The idea is to slow down a bit, enjoy the scenery, but still finish before winter sets in Washington. If you have been following this blog, then you have the daily updates and photos. Oregon has been a pleasant stretch so far. Lush forests, many lakes, soft paths. 2 days before we came into Sisters, though, we went through maybe one of the worst stretches on the trail, at least for me. Miles and miles of lava fields, plus much of it was a former burn area that hadn't grown in yet. Walking on all sizes of lava rock, one slips, slides, and configures their feet, and it takes a lot of attention. Mainly, though, Oregon has been a sort of buffer zone between the more rugged trails in California and what is to come in Washington. I love to see the many day and section hikers out with their dogs. Everybody seems to have their dogs with them. There is a contingent of older retired fellows that interests me. You know Coppertone, that drives around in his Isuzu camper van doing trail magic with his root beer floats? He did the entire trail a few years back and now follows hikers up the trail with his support. He lives on retirement and pension money, as most of these guys do. Glide is a 64-year-old former forest ranger from Nevada who considers himself a professional hiker. He resembles John Muir as he wanders through the U.S. following different trails from one to another. He has a wealth of backcountry knowledge and wisdom. Papa Bear, a former corrections officer, has had it with society and is virtually continuously living on the trail, moving south each year as the weather gets cold. There is an unusual age group represented on the trail. Most are in their 20s or 60s. We met Roadrunner, who is from Arcadia in Humboldt County in California and is 38 years old. We asked him how he was able to take off so much time from work, as most people his age are busy with their lives. He told us he was in business for himself and buying and selling property. Apparently, the marijuana business up in Northern California is doing well. In town here in Sisters, we met some through hiker friends, one who gave yard sale his name. Apparently now yard sale is a verb. When they want to take a shortcut or get a hitch, they say, let's yard sale this section. Michael has a reputation. Maybe it's time for a bit of reflection and philosophy. What have I learned? 1. Patience, for one thing. The miles along switchbacks and miles before town stops can seem very, very long. It's easier to just settle in and try to be with the moment. 2. We live in a society that has access to way too much useless information. This distracts us from a simpler, functional, and fulfilling life. 3. It's interesting how well people get along when they are all going through the similar experiences of walking, finding shelter, food, and water as they do on the trail. People can relate much easier to each other and are more willing to give assistance when they can. There's a common goal, and the challenges are alike. 4. Our ancestors led a more difficult yet more fulfilling life, I believe. We have so many creature comforts, it has clouded our minds and taken a toll on our bodies. And 5, leading a more adventurous lifestyle has shed some of the little self in favor of blending more and of a satisfaction not found in playing it safe and working for security. There may or may not be one more update before the end of the hike. It depends if we make a long enough stop somewhere, but there will be one at the end no matter what. And there is another update. It's Tuesday, September 2nd, 2014. Handbrake and I hiked 9 miles into Snoqualmie Pass, Washington, this morning just in time to avoid rain today and tonight. We will stay in a hotel tonight, resupply, shower, do laundry, and have some restaurant food. We had some rain a few days ago and some more serious thunder showers in Oregon, but all in all, the weather has been kind to us. I have met 11 through southbounders who started July, August, going north to south on the trail. It should be going, north to south. This is usually more difficult because they have to wait until the snow melts in the northern Washington Cascades, and they hope to get through the Sierras before snowstorms, and even down in the Southern California mountains they could get snow in the fall. It's the consecutive rainy days that are challenging because clothing, tents, and sleeping bags tend to get soaked, and one doesn't get a chance to dry them out, and it can get cold. I picked up a hiking stick, which has made a world of difference. 90% of people have hiking poles for a reason. It has helped me in some of the snowfields and whitewater crossings that we had in Oregon. Another fatality occurred near Ramona Falls, across the Sandy River in Oregon. During one of the thunder showers, a mudslide came down over some hikers crossing a bridge. One of them was swept away down the river. One fellow was bit by a rattler, but it was a dry bite and no poison was released. Another hiker was bit on the toe by a scorpion and needed to go to the hospital, but is back on the trail. All in all, things happen out here, but we also have car accidents, muggings, earthquakes, and harmful happenings to us in this city. I don't feel any more in danger than I do in the city. Adapting to my surroundings and to nature is more important than trying to control it, because that won't happen. We have about 250 miles to reach the border. The end is in sight. Washington has been full of ups and downs. Oregon had some, but was generally flatter terrain. Coming up is the northern Cascades, which will really give us some higher climbs and then descents. Scott Williamson, a legend on the trail who has done the trail 14 times, said this upcoming part is his favorite. We met him in Oregon going southbound, trying to beat his own personal speed record. He is a tree trimmer out of Truckee when he is not hiking. To him, climbing trees with a 36-inch chainsaw is much harder than hiking the PCT, and he would rather be out here. We met and talked to String Bean in California, who set the assisted speed record this year, 53 days. He jogged the flat and downhill parts and walked up most of the climbs. Most hikers are into mileage. They have their heads down and race through the landscape without noticing much of the environment. They get their 25 to 40 miles plus in, but to my opinion, miss a lot. Scott Williamson gets up at 4 a.m. and hikes till 9 or 10 in the evening for his 44-mile average so far this season. I rationalize my 20 to 30-mile days because of the need to finish before bad weather sets in up here in Washington. My goal is to do the trail and finish. I'm noting the sections that were especially beautiful and worth exploring. These I can come back to and spend more time in later. Our goal is to reach the border by September 20th. The next update will be the finish. Whatever the reason I did this hike for, I think has been realized. It has been a time of reflection, a time of assessing where I want to go next with my life. The trail has changed me in a positive way. I know more of who I am and what makes me happy. Asking many of these 20-year-olds what they will be doing after they get back is interesting. A third of them have no idea. But whatever it is, it will look good on their resume if they are applying for a job. It is an education like no other. I think priorities are better set in place. One learns what is important and what is just game playing. Nature is a good teacher. One finds this lifestyle is quite addicting. I have heard from a few fellow hikers about the Camino de Santiago trail in Spain. It is a 500-mile pilgrimage trail that folks have traveled continually since the time of the disciples. You just might see me and my hiking stick there next year. Okay, and that's it. There'll be one more update, and that'll be it.